This holiday season, step aboard a Seattle tradition, the Argosy Cruises Christmas Ship Festival. Take in the holiday magic on the official Christmas ship, the Spirit of Seattle, adorned in hundreds of sparkling lights as she brings festive cheer to waterfront communities across Puget Sound. Enjoy live onboard caroling from local choirs, holiday-inspired drinks, and of course, Santa himself. With every ticket, Argosy donates to the Seattle Times Fund for Those in Need, supporting several local charities. Create memories that sparkle. Visit argosycruises.com and book your Christmas ship cruise today. CityCast Seattle is made possible by AT&T. America's first network is also its fastest and most reliable. Based on RootMetrics' United States Root Score Report, 1H 2025. Tested with best commercially available smartphones on 3 national mobile networks across all available network types. Your experiences may vary. RootMetrics rankings are not an endorsement of AT&T. When you compare, there's no comparison. AT&T. This is CityCast Seattle. I'm Jane C. Hu, and here's what Seattle's talking about. Today on CityCast Seattle, we're talking about the most expensive Taco Bell in town and how to be a considerate scooter rider. But first, in one word, Chase Hutchinson, critic and journalist at the Seattle Times and a contributor to KOW. Do we have a new mayor?
Probably.
Hannah Krieg, Seattle's reporter without a boss and founder of The Burner. Do we have a new mayor?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. So yes, Katie Wilson is mayor, probably. Like a little tiny asterisk. Since the count was updated at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, this is what we know so far. Katie widened her margin of 91 votes on Harrell to now about 1,300 votes. It's pretty much assured that she's going to win at this point, but it's not official yet. So according to King County Elections, which shout out to them for being the fastest at replying to emails, there are still some ballots that are going to come in from overseas and military voters. That's probably not going to be enough to change things. But the real wild card here is the 1,500 outstanding signature challenges. So the deadline to cure those ballots is November 24th. And I was doing some back of the envelope math. Even if all of those people cured their ballots, Harrell would need 87% of those ballots, which is pretty unlikely to happen, given that in most elections, the cure rate is about half. And King County Elections told me that the highest resolution rate they've ever seen is 69%. Nice. So we won't know for sure until probably officially November 25th. And currently we're in recount territory. Hannah, you have dug into this a little bit. Tell us about recount possibilities here.
Yeah, so we're out of the territory of where we'd be considering a hand recount, but seems like there's still a possibility if this is the extent of her lead that we'll be looking at a machine recount. That's not really something to be so concerned about. It's going to maybe change 2 ballots. So it is not certified and not official, but it's as not certified and not official as like Erica Evans having won, even though it's a smaller margin, but it's just over. I think that pretty confidently.
Chase, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking what I said on our last podcast about defending the youth vote. They did it. They turned out, they swung the election, they did their civic duty. Props to them. They made their voices heard and elected a pretty historic mayor. Probably.
People turned out. Yeah, 56%, I believe, was close to the final count there of voter turnout, which good job, Seattle.
Procrastinators unite.
Yes, like you said, Hannah, it sounds like even if there is a recount based on previous recount results, that usually doesn't change things very much. So some people are already calling it for Wilson. Council member Alexis Mercedes Rink and former council member Tammy Morales have both posted on Blue Sky being like, congratulations, Katie.
And Katie Wilson, while stopping short of officially declaring victory, all but said this is in the bag. She told this to David Croman, saying there's still votes to be counted, doing the right thing of not wanting to preemptively say, I won, but she said, I think we won this race.
That sounds like about as close as you can get to declaring victory as, waiting for November 25th and looking at the official numbers. Well, it sounds like we're probably going to be waiting for some time still, unless either Wilson definitively declares victory or Harold definitively declares defeat.
I hope someone records that concession call. I really want to hear what Bruce Harrell has to say to this woman that he spent the last 6 months calling an idiot, calling a Nepo baby, calling inexperienced. I want to see a little bit of humility. I think someone should record that, in my opinion.
We'll see. We'll see if we get that or just, I'm guessing that for the most part, it's going to be just a written statement.
I want to hear the apology from Decision Desk HQ that called things way early, way too soon, and now have egg on their face more than anybody. That's what I'm looking for.
I want to hear the apology for everyone who told me to cope and seethe and to, this is the weirdest hill to die on, and oh my God, get over it. Because I was like, oh, Decision Desk, this seems a little early, LOL. And so now I feel fine. If Decision Desk can call the race 4 days ago, I can call the race today for Katie Wilson. I think that's responsible.
I feel like we're starting to veer into like Kanye West betrayals list territory where it's like, these are the people I want apologies from. Who else do you want apologies from?
The thing I was going to say, seriously, building off of what you said, Hannah, Katie Wilson weathered a lot of attacks and she powered through it. Nothing stuck. The repeated criticisms about her supposed lack of experience from the Harrell campaign, how she wouldn't be able to manage this size of government, her policy platform carried the day. She was able to motivate people to get out. And even with a pretty big spending push against her after the primary, when there was a lot of money coming in to try and deal with her upswing, it didn't matter. As far as we can see now, it looks like this is hers and that she overcame a lot of challenges.
Well, if this could get any more dramatic, something different will happen at the 11th hour. But for now, it feels fairly likely that we have a new mayor, which is very exciting. We also learned this week that Girmay Zahalai declared victory in his race. He is our new King County executive. And he also has announced that he has chosen his transition team, which consists of 100 people. My top question is, what do those 100 people do on a transition team? Like, are they all kind of more symbolic or do they each actually have a role?
My understanding is it's pretty like symbolic. It's just like the people you want to feel like are included in the vision making of your administration, the people who've been with you for a while, and it signals the interest he's going to represent. I mean, one of the co-chairs is Brad Smith, big guy at Microsoft, the target of a lot of like anti-genocide protests from the No Azure for Apartheid activists and stuff. And then also Katie Garrow from MLK Labor, notably no communists, so not that big of a tent, but we'll see.
Also includes Doug Baldwin, former Seahawks receiver, also founder of Family First Community Center in Renton, and Esther Lucero, president and CEO of the Seattle Indian Health Board. I mean, what do we think these choices of these 4 co-chairs and really the other 96 people say about what he wants to do moving forward?
I think it's hard to say for sure because I think Hannah is correct in that a lot of these are just like, I'm bringing in all these notable figures. I will say that if it was a choice of who I would want on my pickup football team, it's a pretty clear answer of who you're doing from those 100. But I think it's just about saying, I'm going to unite people. I'm going to bring everyone together. We're going to address these challenges together. Who knows? It could be that he prioritizes some of the specific goals of some of these people more than others, and that everyone is just currently in the big tent to make everyone feel welcome. Time will only tell.
Yeah, what I heard, like, for example, like for Bob Ferguson's transition team is also a big group of people. But what I heard from people who are a part of that team, a lot of their like hiring recommendations didn't get like heated. So it's not really always that powerful of a transition team to be on. But maybe Girmay will be more, receptive to the group he convened himself to advise him.
Do you mean Bob Ferguson, the leader of the French 75? Is that Bob Ferguson? Sorry, movie reference no one will understand. Go ahead.
I haven't
Deep
seen
cut,
any
Chase.
movies, so.
Yeah, unless it's like Too Fast, Too Furious, it will go over my head. It seems like Girmay is definitely trying to get a lot of feedback from people. Like he has just an open call for feedback right now, which we'll see how much of that, gets taken into account, and hopefully people do not abuse the privilege of being able to submit their input. In other election news, so the Supreme Court is going to be hearing a case that's based in Mississippi, and the ruling could have implications for our elections. The New York Times reports that it's a suit that will essentially define the meaning of what Election Day is. So the Republican National Convention is trying to argue that ballots must be received by Election Day, and that basically by allowing ballots to arrive days later undermines election integrity. Kind of in the same way that Seattle accepts ballots as long as they're postmarked by Election Day. So that could change things nationwide. I'm curious what you all think about how to define Election Day. Should we have to have everything in on Election Day, or keep it rolling like we do now?
I don't understand what utility there is in having everything in by Election Day. You are still voting. Like, obviously, like, theoretically, you can't show up at the end of November and be like, hey, I've got my ballot. But if you've submitted it or mailed it in and it's on its way, you've still cast your vote. Like, the whole idea of placing limitations on voting doesn't really feel to be something that's in good faith about this illusory idea of election integrity. These are people wanting to make their voices heard. They should pretty much have as much access to be able to do that as possible.
Yeah, just seems like to rule that it has to be into the elections office by Election Day is just like naked voter suppression of the people who vote later, which in Seattle tends to be more progressive people. I mean, like, if that was a rule in this election, Katie Wilson would have lost, as we see by the results rolling in, and that wouldn't have been as, indicative of the will of the voters. So that kind of sucks.
The only upside I could see is making everyone be super punctual would mean that we might have known the results slightly sooner, but probably
I think
not.
we need to have it be that we all just be patient, just be zen, ocean waves, just relaxed, let the process play out, have some coffee. Serious props to all the journalists that were spending the amount of time really remaining patient, not jumping to conclusions, letting everything play out, doing good reporting on the big picture of it all. I'm all for punctuality on most other things, but voting, procrastinators rule. That's my thought process.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break. Hey, Sam, have you ever been to Walla Walla?
Jane, I haven't been in a really long time.
Like, when was the last time you were there?
I think I went in college. I went to go rock climbing, and I remember finding out about the Walla Walla sweet onions.
Ooh. Well, I think you should go back. You could enjoy the holiday in this cozy and charming small town, and it's located in the heart of the Pacific Northwest in southeastern Washington state, just a 4-hour drive away from Seattle. It has a walkable, historic, and adorable downtown, and the Walla Walla Valley is home to more than 130 wineries with great food and wine. So you get a little snack, get a little drink.
That sounds great.
Time slows down in Walla Walla, and that's the point. You can experience a vibrant and relaxing getaway, move at your own pace, and do as much or as little as you want. How does that sound, Sam?
I mean, that sounds like exactly what I need to do this winter.
Yeah, good way to survive the big dark as well.
Truly.
Go to wallawalla.org to plan your visit today. So, earlier this week, the Downtown Seattle Association posted a video of 2 of their downtown ambassadors modeling scooter safety. They showed examples of good and bad etiquette and offered tips on how not to be that rider. Do you all know that rider I speak of?
I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I'm known for being somewhat controversial. My opinions on scooter riders are not going to earn me any favors with any group, any demographic, any interest. I've only had bad experiences with people trying to kill me on their scooters when I'm on the sidewalk, and then all my friends getting injured on scooters. So yeah, I know that rider, and that's about all I want to say on the topic.
Chase?
I had no idea there was this like scooter gang that was like coming after Hannah on the streets. I have seen people who are maybe being dangerous to themselves in how quickly they are going and how they don't have a helmet, which is its own thing, because oftentimes you just are there because you need to have like a quick transition point between two separate things. So I haven't seen the full video, but I would imagine if you can and you're planning on using a scooter, try and take it slow, try and wear a helmet, but also we should just have more public transit instead of scooters in the first place. I think scooters have become this temporary Band-Aid fix when we should just have more easily accessible routes for people and public transit as opposed to cars. But we would have to tear the whole city to the ground and build back up again because historical reasons.
The scooters would not be a horrible thing if we did have the bike lanes we need and the scooter lanes we need to accommodate them. The problem is that they're on the sidewalk for me. I've tried to not blame the individuals and blame the system, but it's hard. It's hard when the individuals are the ones running you over on the sidewalk, okay?
But Hannah, when you rent the scooter, it makes you agree to not ride on the sidewalk.
Yeah, and they're taking that oath in blood, I can tell. They're really agreeing to that.
Well, Chase, going back to something you said, it does feel like this kind of in-between solution right now, like really trying to solve that final mile problem that you all might have heard of, right? Like you can take transit, but still there's sometimes that awkward gap between where transit takes you and where you need to go. And I mean, overall, scooters probably do save a lot of car trips, but like clearly they can also be a nuisance, or else this video wouldn't have been necessary. Is it a net good or a net negative to have them around?
I think it's really the lesser of two evils of a situation that we're dealing with here. I will say I took public transit to the final Mariners game that they had here home and walked over with this entire crowd of people. If we had all been on scooters, I think that would have been disastrous. I think this entire collective of people going in on scooters, someone would have fallen really badly.
Yeah, I mean, the safety thing is real. Like, I feel like I have heard a ton of stories. It sounds like, Hannah, you have too, of people not wearing a helmet, getting really hurt. Like, you can just go super fast on those things. And I think also some of the time, people take them in the evening, maybe after you've had like 1 or 2 or 15 drinks. I feel like I regularly see Reddit posts from like ER docs, like saying like, please be careful on these, or like someone who's like a loved one got hurt. Did anyone witness this accident? What can we do about this? Like, is there any way that we will get people to wear helmets or like try and be safe on them? Or is it just an inherent risk we're taking by having them in the city?
I think we just show them an episode of The Pit and say, you don't want your night to end with you being a character on The Pit. That's what we do. We've re-education pit camps. That's my recommendation.
It's a hot take, Chase.
It's hard because if you try to make a law that you had to wear a helmet, then they're just going to enforce it on Black people, which we saw with the helmet law that the county repealed not too long ago. But I know how you force people to be safe on them. I guess you could make the roads safer, but you can't undo the hills, and that's, so it's certainly fraught.
Absolutely. It would be nice to have better infrastructure, but for now, maybe this is the best that we've got. I mean, I'm also curious what you all make of the Downtown Association trying to say something about this. I know Lime is actually a member of the Downtown Association, so I would guess that they were in on this. What does it say that both of these parties are acknowledging, like, okay, actually, this is a problem?
I think it could be that they're just trying to, like, do something and sort of say, like, hey, personal responsibility, you just handle this and then everything will be fine. But obviously it's bigger than that. Because the thing I would say is that, and I found a Washington Law Review abstract, Intoxicated Scootering, Rethinking Electric Scooter Liability in Washington, seems fascinating. But I would say just like more ways for people with the drunk scootering question of it all, more ways for people to get home that they don't have to be unsafe for themselves or others. Make people have easier ways to have better choices. It's like the opposite of personal responsibility. Empower people to make good choices. I sound like an elementary school teacher here, but that's what I'm going with.
Make good choices.
Yeah.
And it does feel like there are times where I've seen a scooter and been tempted by it because I'm like, this would just get me home the fastest. But I fear for concussion risk, so I've never actually done it. But it's tough to beat something that gets you from point A to point B for relatively cheap. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about something else that people on scooters might be scooting to, their favorite fast food place late at night. So the Seattle Times just reported on this new analysis of chain restaurant menu prices by the Washington Hospitality Association, which is a lobbying group that represents Washington restaurants. And their analysis looked at popular fast food and fast casual chains. Taco Bell was on there, Pizza Hut, IHOP. And apparently it's 17% more expensive here in Seattle than the average of 20 major U.S. cities. So I'm guessing, the point of this report is to highlight the fact that there are real barriers in cities like Seattle to restaurants. Like, we have a high minimum wage law here. There are other expenses for restaurants that are just more expensive here because the cost of living is higher. But one of the claims that they make is that these high prices might be driving people away from eating out. Is there truth to that? Do you feel like the high prices are actually turning people off from going out to eat?
I would say probably. But I think that there is a probability that if people are like, man, this is just really expensive, I don't know if we can do it, maybe I'll just make food at home. I think that's fine. I think there are probably then these bigger things that need to be said of, if you can go out and you're going out, factor in the cost of the tip for your underpaid worker that is just trying to get by.
Is it always 20% in every restaurant setting? Is there a difference between a sit-down restaurant where, like, I just assume it's always 20%, if not 20% more than 20%, versus you order at the counter and then you walk away?
I would say usually that's a fair minimum starting point. Maybe even sometimes a little bit higher if it's at a sit-down place and people are having to do a lot. Again, from the perspective of working these jobs while also doing journalism, and it sometimes being like, oh, is this worth it? It's a tough thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm never going to buy into the argument of like tip shaming, of like, oh, I feel shamed into tipping. Sorry, that's just kind of the way things are. Like, it's the system we live in right now.
And it is a luxury to have someone wait on you and serve you. It's like, it's not like, it is a choice to go out to a restaurant and have like minimum wage workers like wait on you. You could just eat at home. It's an unfair system, so you should be trying to make it fairer as a consumer, I think.
Yeah. I mean, so this analysis specifically was looking at like chain restaurants as a comparison between cities, which I kind of get, but is that a fair comparison for Seattle though? Like, do Seattleites even go to chain restaurants?
I was going to say, I'm reading it. I didn't know we had a Denny's. I was usually more of what's the pie place that you can get things at? It's like a Perkins. Sherry's. I did not know we had many Denny's around, so that's on me. I apologize to Mr. Denny.
Mr. Denny of Denny Way, right?
Yes.
It's local.
Yes, it's totally local. Yeah, I also was not aware that we had a Denny's. Okay, also, what is the best chain?
I think the chain I go to the most often is probably Chipotle. I'm into Chipotle. It's casual.
I'll ride for Taco Bell. It's trash, but I'll eat that trash.
Yo, okay, yeah, no, that's my top choice. In fact, actually, researching the segment today, I got super hungry and was like, what if I just went to Taco Bell for dinner? My favorite lore, speaking of prices and just the differences between them in different places, my favorite lore is how the Taco Bell in Lower Queen Anne is so much more expensive than every other one. I don't know if you all are nodding like you've heard of this. So I looked and compared prices for a Crunch Wrap at different Taco Bells. It is $9.99 at the Lower Queen Anne Taco Bell, according to a recent Yelp review. That is highway robbery. That's nearly $10.
Crazy.
It's $7.89 at the closest Taco Bell to me, and it's $7 in my hometown in Kentucky, which doesn't surprise me, that would be way cheaper. How much money would you pay to go to a fast food place in Seattle versus some other cheaper city? Like, is that cost difference worth living here?
That's interesting. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I wouldn't look up the price of a Crunchwrap before I got one. I would probably pay $15 for a Crunchwrap before I said something if I didn't see the price before.
$15 for okay, Hannah. All right.
To save myself the embarrassment.
You're like, I can afford it. It's fine. $15 Crunchwrap.
I got it like that.
I was going to say, no one's planning out their Taco Bell order.
Exactly.
No.
I just see the total. I'm like, must be right, I guess.
I mean, I think that's part of the game, I would guess, at this specific location, right? They're like, oh, we know who our clientele is, and they are not going to be like in tip-top shape, like counting pennies, ordering this Crunchwrap. What is missing from Seattle? Like, are there chains or beloved fast casual places that you wish were around?
Okay, I got one. But no one can steal this idea, because when I have $30,000 to franchise, I'm going to do this. But I think that we need a Dutch Bros in the U District. And especially like where they used to have Sugar and Spoon, if you ever have been to that little window, is kind of by the old Urban Outfitters on the Ave. And then you just have like a Dutch Bros window. Do you guys know what Dutch Bros is?
No, I was going to ask what Dutch Bros is.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Dutch Bros is like, it's like a coffee stand, but they also have like energy drinks. It's a lot of like kind of like coffee in a video game. Like, it's not real coffee. It's just like kind of crazy. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I think
Sounds
it's a
like
chain
an
that's
experience.
in Arizona and stuff. And there's some in Eastern Washington. I think the closest one is Renton or Edmonds for the Everett for the listeners at home who want to make the drive. It's worth it. I love Dutch Bros.
Yo, speaking of the drive, my gripe is that Seattle has no Chili's. Like, you got to go all the way to Spokane for Chili's. And
But they're gonna open.
Are they going to open one?
They're gonna open one in SeaTac, and so you can get the day pass. Sorry, I'm really into Chili's too.
Okay, Hannah, we're going to go get I don't know about this day pass, but we're going to get the day pass and we're going to go to SeaTac, because that is very exciting. I love an airport Chili's. That is my safe place. What is your go-to late night fast food order?
I usually go to Memos. That was the big one when I was in college. I don't know if other folks are familiar with Memos, but it's kind of a more Tex-Mex-esque food. And I would get their carne asada fries. And sometimes you would wake up and that was a mistake the next day. But, you know, in that moment, pure bliss.
Yeah. Gotta live in the moment.
I'm a Capitol Hill girly, so I'm always at Hawk Dog. You know, I don't know, like a fast food order late at night. There's not really anything near me that I would go to. But I mean, if I was in Queen Anne, I would go to Taco Bell probably, because I do like Taco Bell. But I like a Seattle dog, veggie dog, onions, and the schmear, the whole nine. I'm into it.
The whole nine. That sounds great. Before I let you all go, any other thoughts, hot takes on the election, on scooters, on fast food?
I think there should be a final last hurrah, a scooter race between Harrell and Wilson through downtown. Not for the mayoral race, but just for bragging rights. I think that's how we should conclude. I think that would bring Seattle together, would just be two mayoral candidates racing recklessly with their scooters.
Chase, what you have described, I think, is an 80s movie plot. Like, I'm for it. Someone make it happen, please.
That's how they could decide it if it's not clear after the recount. I think that's a great a great way to choose.
Yeah. Hannah, do you have any final parting thoughts here?
Parting thoughts? No, I really don't. I wish I did, but I think that Chase's parting thoughts were better. You should end with those.
we gotta end it. We gotta end it on the scooter race between Bruce Harrell and Katie Wilson. All right, that's all for today here at CityCast Seattle. I'm your host, Jane C. Hu. Chase Hutchinson, thank you so much for being here and seeding this idea of this amazing race.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hannah Krieg, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Listeners, we want to hear from you. Send us your news tips, questions, hot goss, or your thoughts about the Lower Queen Anne Taco Bell by sending an email to seattle@citycast.fm. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail on the CityCast hotline at 206-880-3931. If you're enjoying the podcast, be sure to follow us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Even better, leave us a review. You can get local news and events delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to our newsletter. Just go to seattle.citycast.fm. Until next time, see ya, Seattle.